Awesome. Well, happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to Happy Feet Week 3. We have our resistance training for endurance part 2 this week. So we're going to do different exercises, but similar repetitions and sets, making sure we're still staying in that range, focusing on our resistance training for endurance. And if you weren't here last week with us, I just have the itinerary up here. So first week we did our assessments. Last week and this week we have resistance training for endurance. Next week and the week after we have resistance training for strength. So we're going to be lower in reps, but we're going to increase our weight or increase that band. And then we have resistance training for balance and then our post happy feet assessments. Just going over our reminders, we go over this every class. Just want to make sure you guys have your priorities straight with resistance training. So as always, safety is our number one priority. If you're on treatment or if you have had treatment, you may experience some side effects or still be experiencing some side effects. Even if you aren't on treatment, you still may have some neuropathy or fatigue, different kinds of muscle pain. You may be dizzy, and especially with our endurance training, you could definitely be a little more out of breath because we're going to be doing a lot of repetitions and we're going to do shorter amounts of rest. So just be mindful of these. I always usually provide a seated modification. So if you are feeling dizzy or a little uneasy with your balance, you're more than welcome to do the modification I provide. On the right side of the screen, we have our reminders. As always, we'll take breaks often, but if I'm moving a little too fast and you want to sit out of a set, you're more than welcome to. As always, try the modified version. I will demonstrate both of them. So if you feel like you want to do 1 or 2 sets of the exercise and then one of the modified version, you're more than welcome to try and switch in between the two because you may feel the exercise a little bit more in the modified version, and that's completely okay also. As always, stay hydrated. Have your water bottle or your choice of beverage close to you so we can drink some. And as always, do what makes your body feel good. We don't want you to be in any pain, very, very mild discomfort. And we'll move on to our next slide. Just a big summary of what we kind of went over last week. So what does resistance training for endurance look and feel like? So it looks like in that 2 to 3 set range, we're going to stay between 10 and 15 repetitions. So last week we did 10 repetitions for everything. This week we're going to shoot for 12 to 15. So we're going to increase the repetitions. Like I said before, we're taking a little less rest in between exercises, which is going to help us focus more on the endurance part and not so much the strength. And then also you can use body weight bands or any household items. I know at Happy Feet we do provide the bands, but if the bands are too much for you, you're more than welcome to just do the body weight version as well. So what you could feel during our session today, you may feel a little bit more fatigued because we're doing a lot of reps, a lot of sets, and not as much rest in between. So like I said, if you need to try that modified version, you're more than welcome to. You may also feel an increased heart rate because a lot of your oxygen and blood is pumping through your body, trying to get it to the right muscles that are being used when we're exercising. And then you also may feel a little bit of muscle soreness, which is completely natural and normal for when you use resistance training or when you do resistance training, since you're working your muscles harder than they normally are. And then once again, out of breath because not as much rest, more reps. And we're going to go over self-progression real quick, since this is a concept that is sometimes hard to understand. So at that top left corner, we have a simple definition of self-progression. It's where you slowly increase the resistance based on how hard the exercise feels. So we use that rate of perceived exertion scale, which is that scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is you're sitting on the couch watching TV maybe or reading a book. And then 10, you're running for your life, you're sprinting as fast as you can. It's so hard you cannot do it anymore. We really want you to be in that, 5 to 7, maybe 4 to 5, 4 to 6 range, kind of in between that 1 to 10. That's kind of the sweet spot. If you look at that table, we have an example of how you could progress an exercise. So the first week of the program, you may start with that 20-pound band. Repetitions are going to be 12, for example, but it could be anywhere in between that 8 to 15 rep range or 10 to 15 rep range. And then your RPE, or how hard the exercise is going to be pretty high since it's the first week of the program and you may have never done it before. Second week, we're still using the same weight, still keeping the same repetitions, but because you've done this the week before, your muscles and your body are getting used to the exercise. So maybe it's not as hard as last week. Or maybe if we do an exercise this week that we did last week, it may feel a little bit easier. So we move on to the third week of the program, keeping the weight the same, repetitions the same, but that RPE, or how hard the exercise is going to drop a little bit more, just because our body is getting more and more used to the exercise. So once how hard that exercise gets us to about a 4 or a 5, that's when we can increase the weight or the resistance. So if you're doing body weight, you may want to try a light band, or if you're already using resistance bands, you may want to increase that resistance. So we have a 30-pound band this week, once again keeping our repetitions the same, and then our RPE will increase because we're adding more resistance. I know I said a lot, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask as well. On the right side of the screen, we just have our keep in minds. We always want to sandwich upper body and lower body exercises to make sure our muscles have enough rest in between our sets and our different exercises. For that same reason, we also want to make sure we do not resistance train multiple days in a row to help you recover, especially if you're on treatment or still feeling some side effects. You really want to make sure you listen to your body. As always, we'll do a proper warm-up and stretches at the end, because the warm-up helps kind of prime our muscles for the resistance training, gets them nice and warmed up, and then the stretches at the end help us ease along with our muscles. And then once again, we're going to use that RPE scale to track our progress, which is that scale of 1 to 10. And that is all my chatting for today. We are going to go ahead and stop sharing and get into the best part of our happy hour, which is our exercises. So we're going to keep the same or similar warm-up as last time. If you guys want to go ahead and stand up or be seated. Our first exercise are going to be those calf to toe raises. So we did these last week. I will demonstrate the exercise always, and then also demonstrate the modification. You can hold on to the chair with your fingertips for some balance. We're going to shift our weight into our toes, squeeze our calves, lower down, and then lift our toes up, squeezing the front of our shin. It's going to be the same exercise seated. So we're going to be sitting in our chair on the edge of our seat. Feet are planted on the ground. Shift our weight into our toes. Squeeze those calf muscles. Lower our heels. Shift our weight to our heels and squeeze the toes and our shins. We're going to do 2 sets of 12 repetitions. If you guys want to follow along with me. All right, here we go. Up onto our toes, squeeze the calves, lower down, onto our heels. Awesome. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, last one, 12, awesome. Like I said last week, sometimes I like to do a little shake of my legs, try and loosen them up a little bit, maybe some ankle rolls, whatever really feels best while we're taking a little bit of rest. All right, got about 5 more seconds, and we'll go into our second set of 12 repetitions. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, onto our toes, squeeze the calves, lower down, and bring those toes up. Awesome, that's 1, 2, awesome, everyone on camera looks great. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 more, 10, 11, last one, 12. Awesome. If you're standing, you can go ahead and stay standing. Our next warm-up exercise are going to be standing marches. For this one, you can also put your fingertips in front of you on the chair if you want a little bit more assistance with balance, or you can just do one hand and face the camera as well. For our standing marches, we're going to shift our weight onto our right leg and then bring that left knee up and then lower it down, shift our weight onto our left leg, bring that right knee up, lower it down. It's going to be very similar for our seated version or our modified version. We're going to be on the edge of our chair. Hands are on our hips or by our sides. And same thing here, shifting our weight to our right side, bringing that left knee up. And same with the right leg, just switching in between. For this one, we're going to do 2 sets of 10 repetitions. So it'll be 20 total marches. We're going to go ahead and begin our first set. We're going to take a big inhale to prepare, and then exhale, bring that knee up. Inhale, lower it down. Other knee up and lower it down. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. Make sure we're exhaling as we bring our knee up. And then when we bring our knee down, we are inhaling. 6. 7. 3 more. 8. 9. Last 2. 10. Awesome, and relax. We'll take about 20 or so seconds here. We're going to do one more set of those. Is that first set okay with everybody? Awesome. Everyone on camera look great. All right, here we go for our second set of marches. Big inhale to prepare, and exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last 1, and 10. Awesome. You guys can go ahead and take a seat. Our next warm-up exercise is going to be those neck circles we did last week. So for these, we're going to have a seat in our chair, and at your own pace, we're just going to do 10 in one direction. So we drop our right ear to our right shoulder, circle our head around, and bring it back to center. We're going to do 10 of these in one direction, and then 10 in the opposite direction. This is a little too much for you. You can also just do what we call ear drops, where you just bring your right ear as close to your right shoulder as possible, and then exhale and inhale through center onto the other side. So let's go ahead and choose one of these, and we're just going to do 10 in both directions at your own pace. Really want to try and warm up our neck muscles and our upper back. Once you've done 10, you can go ahead and come back to center. Just take your time. Awesome. Everyone looks great. All right, looks like everyone's wrapping up. So I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate our last warm-up exercise. We also did these last week, I believe, as our arm circles. So our arms are gonna be out like a T. If this is too much for your shoulders, we can just lower them down. You can also do these seated as well if you would prefer that. We're gonna have our arms out by our side, and we're just gonna bring our arms down and up, big circles. And we're gonna do 10. If you wanna follow along, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And keep them up, and we're gonna reverse it. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, keep those shoulders down, good posture. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome. Drop those arms. You can give them a little shake. Everyone go ahead and take a water break. Awesome. Once you guys are grabbing some water, I'm going to go ahead and start to demonstrate our first exercise. This one can be a little bit complicated. So once everyone grabs their water, please take a look at the screen. If you guys haven't done this exercise before, it's called a Romanian deadlift or an RDL. It's pretty simple once you get the right technique down. So we're going to take our resistance band. I'm going to loop it or set it on the midpoint of both of my feet, just like this. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. Perfect. On the midpoint of both my feet, and I like to stretch out the bottom of the resistance band. So there's a little bit more leeway in this top part. Our feet are going to be a little closer than hip distance apart. And we're going to start by standing up just like this. Shoulders are rolled down and back. We're holding on to that resistance band. And as you inhale, we're going to hinge at the hips, keeping our knees slightly bent. Hinge at the hips. Back is nice and straight. And then once you feel that stretch in the backs of your legs, that's when you're going to bend your knees a little bit more. And then your hands are going to reach past your knees. We're going to do a big exhale and squeeze the glutes. So we inhale, bend, feel the stretch in our knees. Hands reach our knees, and then we exhale and stand up. If this is too difficult for you or seems a little bit scary to try, we also have the seated modification. Very, very, very similar. Band is also going to be on the midpoint of both of our feet. Feet are also going to be a little bit closer than hip distance apart. Our band is going to be held in between our knees. We still have shoulders rolled down and back, good posture. Eyes are looking forward. Inhale, drop our chest towards the floor. Exhale, squeeze the glutes. Does anybody have any questions before we get started? I know it's a little bit complicated. Awesome. Today, we are going to shoot for 3 sets of 12 repetitions. If you guys want to follow along with me, we're going to go ahead and start our first set of 12. All right, everyone in position. We inhale, drop the chest down, and exhale, squeeze the glutes. 1. Really make sure we feel the stretch in our hamstrings. 2. 3. 4. Awesome. Make sure we're squeezing our shoulder blades together. 5. 6. 7. 8. Awesome. 4 more. 9. 10. 2 more. 11. Last one. 12. Awesome. You guys can let go of that band. Either take it off of your feet or take a seat for a second. We're going to take about 30 seconds of rest here. Does anyone have any questions about that first set at all? Everyone on camera looked awesome.
I sort of feel it in my low back. Should I feel it in my low back?
You should feel it more in the backs of your hamstrings. The reason you may feel it in your low back is when you're dropping down, you're probably rounding your shoulders a little bit. So pretend like there's something that's pulling your shoulder blades together, and you really want to squeeze them and stick out your chest. So when you hinge at your hips, you're keeping your shoulders pulled down and back. That's a great question, though. We can go ahead and get set up for our second set here. All right, everyone get into place. And inhale, hinge at the hips. Exhale, squeeze the glutes. Stand up nice and tall. Awesome. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 4 more. 9. 10. 11. Last one. And 12. Awesome. Go ahead and relax. We have one more set of these. If anyone is still struggling with these using the band, you could always try it without the band too. Sometimes I like to just do my hands on my hips, feet are still in the same place, and we're just gonna hinge until you feel the stretch and you can't hinge anymore, and then you return to center. Sometimes it's nice to just practice with the body weight so you get the motion down as well. But if you are going to use your band, let's go ahead and get it set up for our last set. Everyone's doing awesome so far. Our next exercise is seated. All right, here we go. If everyone's ready, we're gonna inhale, hinge at the hips, and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Everyone looks good. 5, 6, halfway. 7, 8, 9, and 10. 2 more. 11, last one. 12, awesome, and relax. If you would like, you can go ahead and take a seat. Our next exercise will be seated. I will go ahead and demonstrate that if you guys want to grab some water. So our next exercise is going to be an upright row. For this one, we have our resistance band looped around both of our thighs. Perfect. You can be towards the edge of your chair. I like to be kind of in the middle. It just helps me focus on engaging my core when I'm doing this exercise as well. We're going to grab onto that resistance band with our palms facing down. When we're ready, roll those shoulders back, puff out our chest for good posture. And as we exhale, we're going to drive our elbows up, keeping our shoulders down, and inhale, slowly return. If this is too difficult, you can simply take one leg out of the resistance band and just do it on one leg. You'll still get the same stretch. It'll just be a little less resistance. And we're going to shoot for 3 sets at 15 repetitions for this. As always, if this is too much for you, you can always pick and choose, do whatever feels best to you. All right, we're going to inhale to prepare. And then exhale, drive those elbows up. Awesome. 1, 2, big exhales, we bring them up. 3, 4, making sure we keep those shoulders down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more. 11, last one. And 12. Oh wait, we're doing 15, sorry. 3 more. 13, 14, last one now. 15, awesome. You can relax. We'll take about 30 seconds of rest, and then we got 2 more sets of those. Was that first set okay with everybody? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Same thing with the RDLs that we did before this. If the band is too much, you can always just focus on the motion. A lot of people with this one like to shrug their shoulders as we bring our elbows up. That's a big no. We want to make sure our shoulders are rolled down and back and we maintain that good posture throughout the movement. Everyone that's on camera that I can see looks beautiful. And we'll go ahead and get ready for that second set if everyone wants to grab their bands. Awesome, we got 15 more. Roll those shoulders back, keep that good posture. Big inhale, and as we exhale, bring those elbows up. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 more, 10, 11, 12, almost there, 13, 2 more, 14, last one, and 15. Awesome. Relax those arms. Hopefully you guys can feel it a little. I definitely do. We got one more set of those. And then our next exercise is also seated. All right, let's get that band ready. This is our last set, and then we can give our arms a little break. All right, grabbing palms face down, roll the shoulders back, big inhale to prepare, and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 11, 12, 13, almost there, you guys got it. 14, last one. 15, awesome. Shake out those arms a little bit. Let's go ahead and take that resistance band off. If you would like, you're more than welcome to keep it around your ankles because we will need it on our ankles for our next exercise. I'm gonna shift the camera a little bit. And for our next exercise, we have our leg extensions. So for this one, we are just doing an upper body exercise. So I like to increase the resistance when I do lower body because my lower body is a little bit stronger than my upper body. So for our leg extensions, we have our resistance band looped around both of our ankles. We're going to be scooched to the back of our chair with our back glued against the back of the chair, which is going to help us with support. Our feet are planted on the ground at about 90 degrees or so. Shoulders rolled back, eyes looking forward, hands on our hips or holding onto the chair, really whatever's most comfortable for you. I like to keep my hands on my hips. Big inhale. And as we exhale, extend one leg out, squeeze those quad muscles. And just so you guys can see it on this leg, as we exhale, we're just extending that leg as straight as you can. If this is too difficult, you can just take the resistance band off. These can also be done without the resistance band with our body weight, hands on our hips, squeezing that quad, same exact motion. We are going to do 3 sets of 12 repetitions on both sides. So we're going to do 12 on one leg, and then I will flip my chair and we'll do 12 on the other leg. If everyone wants to follow along with me, take a big inhale and exhale. Extend that leg, squeeze the quads, and slowly lower down. Awesome. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure we're exhaling as we extend that leg. Inhale, coming back. Awesome. 9, 10, 2 more. 11, last one. 12, awesome. We're gonna do same exact thing, but on the other leg now. Inhale to prepare and exhale. Inhale, return. Awesome. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more. 11, last one. 12, awesome. Go ahead and relax. Give your legs a little shake if you would like. We have 2 more sets of those. We'll take about 10 seconds of rest here. And then since our one leg got a little bit of rest when the other one was working, we're going to get right into our second set. Here we go. Big inhale and exhale. 1, awesome. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway. 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more. 11, last one. And 12, awesome. Switching over to that other side. Taking a big inhale. And as we exhale, extend that leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 more. 9, 10, 2 more. 11, last one. And 12, awesome. Shake out your legs a little, give them some love. We got one last set. One last set of these. And then we only have 2 more exercises. All right, let's go ahead and start getting ready for our last set. Scooching back in our chair, feet are planted. We're going to take a big inhale and exhale. Squeeze those quads. There we go. 1, 2, last set here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, last one, and 12. Awesome. Our last 12 on our last leg. Here we go. You guys got it. Last one. Big inhale and exhale. Extend that leg. Squeeze our thighs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 more. 9, 10, 11, last one. 12, awesome. Great job, everyone. You can go ahead and take that resistance band off. Grab some water, please. I will also be grabbing some. We have 2 more exercises for today. This next one is called a wall push-up. Hopefully I can get it at a good angle where you're kind of able to see my whole body. So for our wall push-up, we are going to be standing, move the camera just slightly. We're going to be standing near a wall. So if you preferably can find like a blank wall in your house or nearby, you could even use like a door frame, like I have a door that's shut right here. You can put your hands against that, or like closet doors, really any type of wall or blank space. I'm going to extend my arms out straight and walk until my hands hit the wall. Then I'm going to bring my hands down slightly below my chest. So right about here for me. And the further you step away from the wall, the more difficult this exercise will be. So if we bring our hands or our feet here and do our wall push-up, it'll be a lot easier than if you step further away from the wall. So let's go ahead and start a little bit closer to, especially if you've never done this exercise before. So I'm going to start about here. As I inhale, I'm going to drop my chest towards the wall, almost touching my forehead to the wall. And then as I exhale, big push away. So we go inhale, tap your forehead, big push away from the wall. That's how we do our wall push-up. If this is too difficult for you or a little too intimidating, that is perfectly okay. We're going to do our chest flies. We did these last week. You're going to have your hands interlocked behind your head. As we inhale, open your rib cage, squeeze your shoulder blades. Exhale, bring your elbows together. We're going to shoot for 2 sets of 15 repetitions. So if you want to go ahead and do the modification, that's perfectly okay. I am going to demonstrate the wall push-up just because it's a little bit more of a complex exercise. If everyone wants to go ahead and get in position, we're going to do 15 of these following along with me. And we're going to inhale, drop our forehead, exhale, push away. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, awesome. 10, 5 more. 1, 12, 3 more. 13, 14, last one. And 15, awesome. Relax. We only have one more set of those, and then we're on to our last exercise. Does anyone have any other questions regarding our wall push-up? Everyone on camera looks really great. Awesome. We'll take about 10 more seconds here. And then we're going to go into our last set of 15 repetitions for our wall push-up. So if you're doing the push-up, let's go ahead and get by our wall if you're not there already. Bring our hands down lower than chest. Step out a little bit if that's best with you. And as we inhale, drop our forehead. Big exhale, push away, squeeze our chest. 1, 2, 3, awesome. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, over halfway. 9, 10, 11, 12, awesome, almost there, everyone. 13, 2 more, you got it. 14, last one. 15, awesome, and relax. Our last exercise is going to be standing, but if you want to go ahead and take a seat, get some rest, you're more than welcome to. Our last exercise is going to be standing kickbacks or glute kickbacks. This one, I like to use a chair in front of me with my fingertips on it to help a lot with my balance. So I would definitely recommend that as well. I'm going to have my resistance band looped around both of my ankles again. And my feet are going to be a little closer than hip distance apart. I'm going to turn and face my chair, put my fingertips on it. I'm going to shift my weight into my left leg. And as I exhale, I'm going to kick my right leg behind me, trying to keep it straight, really squeezing those glutes and feeling it in my hamstrings. And as I inhale, I return back. Same thing on this leg, except I'm shifting my weight onto the opposite leg. As I exhale, kick back, inhale, return to center. If this is too difficult or seems a little intimidating, we can also do our hamstring curls. So for these, we're going to be scooted to the edge of our seat. As we exhale, we're going to drive our ankle towards the backs of our legs. So we exhale, just like that. Same thing on the other side. You should really be squeezing the backs of your legs, and you should feel it in your hamstrings and your glutes. We are going to do 2 sets of 12 repetitions on each leg. So we'll do all 12 on one and then all 12 on the other, just like we did our leg extensions. All right, everyone wants to go ahead and get the resistance band ready. We're going to inhale shift our weight onto that opposite leg, and then exhale, kick back, and inhale, return to center. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, keeping our hips forward, 12, awesome. We're gonna do the opposite leg now. So the other leg versus what you just did. Shifting our weight into the opposite leg. Inhale and exhale, kick back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 more, 9, 10, 11, last one, 12. Awesome, and relax. We have our last set here. Only gonna rest about 10 or so seconds. We got 12 on one leg, 12 on the other, and then we are done for today. Did that first set go okay with everybody? Awesome, awesome. Love to hear it. All right, let's get our resistance bands ready for this last set. Starting with that same foot you started with on that last set. Making sure we have good posture, eyes looking forward, shifting our weight onto that opposite leg. Inhale and exhale, kick back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost there. 10, 2 more. 11, last one. 12, awesome. Last 12 exercises for today. Then we got our stretches. Here we go. Inhale to prepare, shift our weight, and exhale. Squeeze the glute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more. 11, last one. 12, awesome. You can take that resistance band off. Put it to the side. Give yourselves a pat on the back when you are ready. You guys crushed it today. We got a couple stretches. Whenever you're ready, you're welcome to grab some water. Hop in whenever you feel like it. We're going to do our figure 4 stretch first. So taking one ankle, to the opposite thigh. And then we're just going to try and drop our chest towards our shin. We're going to go ahead and hold this for a little bit. If this is also too difficult, we can just do a nice knee hug. Give your knee a big old hug. You should feel this in your glutes, maybe a little bit in your low back, a little bit in the hamstrings or backs of your legs. And we're going to switch legs in 3, 2, 1, relax. And switch legs, bringing that left ankle to the right thigh. Or if you did your left leg first, right ankle to the left. With every exhale, try and sink a little bit deeper into the stretch and relax another muscle. And 3, 2, 1, relax. Awesome. Bring that leg back down. I'm going to stretch out our neck a little bit and our upper back. So I'm going to take my right hand, bring it to the opposite side, and drop my right ear towards my shoulder. Or I like to drop my chin towards my chest and pretend like I'm smelling my armpit. Here you should feel the stretch in your neck, in your traps, maybe a little in your upper back. Hopefully it relieves a little bit of tension. Same thing here. With every exhale, try and relax your muscles just a little bit more. And release in 3, 2, 1. Bring that head back to center. Doing the same thing on the other side. Taking that left hand to the right side, dropping our ear, and then dropping that chin to smell our armpits. And release in 3, 2, 1. Release and return back to center. Awesome. That is everything I have for you guys today. Everyone crushed it. Awesome job. Happy October too. I can't believe it's October 2nd already. Looking forward to next week, and thank you guys for showing up.